So we're here to solve this Battleships puzzle by Takeya Saikachi called 0 to 3 for these vertical clue themes. I'm seeing 6 clues and 6 more, 12 clued by those columns. So there are 8 missing ship segments in the 5th and 6th column. The rows have, it looks like 6 plus 8 plus 4, which is 18 totally specified. That's going to leave behind 2 more ships to place in the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th rows overall. Not as much info there. If I had to think about the most constrained space, it's probably this 2-6 clue because we've got 8 ship segments in a total of 16 cells. So one thing you'll sometimes want to do in a moment like this is try to figure out how you can break apart this space into 2x2 squares. At least this is a good way to think about it because we only take a maximum of 2 ship segments in a 2x2 square. There's something more powerful here though. We have columns that have 1 around them, so we know for sure we only take 1 of these maximally. We don't have to take either, but the max is we take 1 in green, 2 more in blue, 2 more in red, 1 here. Again, this is a column with a 1, and then 2 in pink. And notice that 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 is 8 ship segments, so we must take the maximum in each of these spots. We can probably do more than just recognize that's how it's used. Just how do we get 6 in this row? Well, we can only take a maximum of 4 here on the left because we can't have a 5-unit ship all horizontal, which means we have to take at least 2 over here. So a placement like this, which eliminates 2 cells, doesn't give us 2 over here. A placement like this, which eliminates 2 cells, doesn't give us 2 over here. So these aren't valid spots, but this looks like it has to be used. And in pink, this looks like it has to be used. Because again, we must take 1 in yellow and we must take 2 in pink, but the pinks can't be sharing a diagonal space. They'll always have to take this hinge part of an L triomino. So we know 2 for sure, 1 more to specify. That actually finishes this column, so let's mark that in. Coming out of the left, we've got similar challenge. If I took like this and I mark off 2, I now get 3 across with 3 across, but then I don't get room for this 2 up above. So this isn't used down on the top. The 6 will have to take the bottom for that 1 cell. That marks off this, makes an L triomino. We'll always have to take a ship here. Marks off these. Always have to take a ship here. So this is another good place of progress. We've actually finished the 2nd column now with that 1 ship placement. A few things to do from here. Well, first, we know we need to take 2 across these spaces. So we must take at least blue or red in this row, which means we can't use this cell. Hopefully that's obvious why. If you did take it, you would mark both these off from diagonal adjacency. So this is a vertical placement here. This has some options to be horizontal or vertical, but I think this will help us out. And we haven't used it yet, but why don't we just come back up to this 1, 5. Part because we've now marked off these 2 cells and these 2 cells. Now I'm seeing 3 2x2 boxes I can be making. So similar logic before, I can take 2 here in green, 2 here in blue, 2 here in red. That's a total of 6. This shape says I have to take this cell as a link, which says I have to take this cell as a link. Notice this column is now finished. So this comes across, forces this off, forces this in, must be a battleship. This must be vertical. That completes this, forces this across. We now need to get 2 ships in this red square, and they'll have to be vertical because we're going to take 1 in this row and 1 in this row. And with 2 ships here and 1 already used, the only place we get 2 vertical is in the rightmost column. Puts this in, finishes off this whole space. Let's see, we now have 1 more to go down here. We've got 3 to place across this. Notice if I placed this coming this way, I would get 1, 2, 3, 4 2-unit ships. So I can't take both of those. I have to take this. For sure finishes this column. I have 1 more spot for the ship in this row. That comes in and forces this placement. We have all the 2-unit ships in the grid, so we've got to place a 3-unit ship. And how's this going to finish? So this column is already complete, but we need 1 more submarine. So there we go. So a pretty good Thursday's Battleships puzzle. It's very much helped if you understand how to break this into 2x2 squares for the most constrained spots. Certainly the 2-6 adjacent row clues in rows 5 and 6 are the starting point for that, but we can take that logic up to the top. So if you haven't seen this way to split apart Battleships puzzles, this is one of the better techniques to do them fully logically, not intuitively, as you make headway in solving this logical puzzle style. So thanks for watching. We'll see you again.